Hey, I'm Christopher JMUA and welcome back to my channel. Unless you've never been here, of course, then welcome. I'm so glad you've stopped by. Today, we get to review the Tom Ford Shade and Illuminate Soft Radiance Foundation with SPF 50. And with me here, I have the shade 3.7 Champagne. We are going to dive deep into this foundation. We're going to do a first impressions, a try on. We're going to see how this lasts through a wear test. We're going to see how this works with all the other products that I use on pretty much a day-to-day basis. And we're going to see how this lasts throughout the day. So if you want to know everything there is to know about this Tom Ford foundation, then stay exactly where you are, keep doing exactly what you're doing, and keep on watching. Okay, first thing I gotta say is this packaging is beautiful. So beautiful. It's so sleek and modern looking, and it's so heavy. It is very weighted. That is for sure. Very weighted. And it better be, because I ordered this from Beautylish for $150. This better be the best foundation I've ever tried. It better work without a hitch. It better make me look amazing. I better look like my skin is perfect, and I better have my brushes washed after I'm done. Like the moment I put my foundation on, I better be able to put my brush back into my brush holder and it be clean, because it better clean my brushes for me. That's how good it better be. Anyway, like I said, I did order this from Beautylish and I was so stoked because I've never tried a luxury foundation, unless you count the Lancome Le Tint Particular foundation, which I did review as well whenever I went on my trip to LA, which I'll link that video right up here and you can check that out if you want to. This was the custom shade match foundation, and that one was $85 for the foundation and the custom shade match. So the whole experience was $85. This is almost double that for just the foundation. So I'm really curious to see how well this lives up to the price tag of $150. Now, as per the Beautylish website, the description for this foundation says, create the perfect canvas to capture and reflect light with this luminous foundation from Tom Ford. A blend of advanced elastomers and light diffusing powders perfect your complexion while adding a soft focus radiance that enhances your features. Packaged in a luxe glass bottle with pump, Shade and Illuminate Soft Radiance Foundation subtly highlights and brightens skin for a natural soft focus look. Coverage, medium to full, my favorite. Finish, radiant. Formula, liquid. And it says why it's special. Advanced elastomers and light diffusing powders create three-dimensional radiance for a luminous finish. Hyaluronic acid, another one of my favorites, moisturizes for a plump, dewy look, while botanical oils and extracts help nourish and calm skin. That's really cool. So it's got skin benefits as well as hyaluronic acid, which is also SPF 50 PA++++. Love that. That means it is protecting the skin very, very well. Helps to protect from the harmful effects of sun damage. Yes, okay, exactly right. I love SPF in a foundation. That helps it be worth the value that it is quite a bit, in all honesty. If you notice, SPFs with that high of a strength are kind of pricey as well anyway. Then it says how to use. Shake well, apply to clean or primed skin. Use Tom Ford Shade and Illuminate foundation brush or your favorite foundation brush. Work from the center of the face outwards, following the contours of the face. Okay, so they don't recommend a sponge, period. So that means we are not going to be using a sponge today for the application. We're going to be using strictly a brush. I don't have the Tom Ford brush because the foundation was enough as it is. I'm sure the foundation brush was probably just as much as the foundation. Also, this foundation comes in 40 shades, which in my opinion is really good. And when I look at the selection available, it does kind of seem a little light, medium, heavy, but it gets really, really deep. It seems like it's including a really wide range of skin tones. The only problem I had when looking for my shade is typically whenever I go through picking a foundation, I pick light, medium, neutral. That's usually the description for my tone that I choose. And whenever I look through the tones, it goes from 2.7, which is light with neutral beige undertones, down to 3.5, which is light with cool rosy undertones, then to 3.7 Champagne, which is light medium with warm peachy undertones. Then 4.0 fawn, light medium with warm olive undertones. 4.5 ivory, light medium with warm yellow undertones. 4.7 cool beige, light medium with cool rosy undertones. 5.1 cool almond, medium with cool rosy undertones. So within the light medium spectrum, there is no neutral undertone. That kind of confused me because there's neutral undertones within every other category, but light medium. So I wonder why there wasn't one for light medium. But regardless, obviously I chose light medium with warm peachy undertones in the hopes that this $150 foundation is going to match my skin. If not, it's a good thing Beautylish has a great return policy. Thank you, Beautylish. So I want to show you guys the packaging close up because it's just beautiful. It's like this gridlock type pattern. It's really a grid, but diamonds instead. And it just feels so expensive, as I would hope it does, but it does feel expensive. And then on this side, it's blank. On this side, it has drug facts, use, and ingredients. And then on this side, it has inactive ingredients. And then if we open it, we have the packaging itself. And this bottle is stunning. It has black on each side of it, and then it's clear on each other side of it so that you can actually see what shade the foundation is. It has the Tom Ford logo name there, has the Tom Ford insignia right here, and then on the bottom it shows the shade of the foundation. The top of the bottle has the TF logo on top, and then we open it and it has the pump as it's stated on the website, and all of this beautiful gold is fantastic. The cap is also magnetic. I can feel it locking into place as it drops. You could put it on sideways and it's gonna pop right back into place. And now let's go ahead and shake it up and get to applying. I did go ahead and prime my skin with my Winky Lux Whipped Cream Primer. This is one of the best pore filling primers I've ever used whenever it comes to pairing up with foundations because it doesn't have any slip to it. So I never have any problem with foundations slipping around on top of it or just falling off. So it's a really great primer for consistency. I know it's going to work with everything. Now, a problem I have out of a lot of luminous finish products, especially foundations, is that by the time I finish my makeup, I end up with a lot of texture to the skin. It looks like I'm extra porous and I have extra, well, texture. And I'm hoping that that's something that I can avoid with this foundation. That is something that I'm worried about with it being a luminous finish. So I'm going to use this Kabuki style foundation brush from Opulent Beauty. And I'm going to start with just a couple of pumps and go from there. Oh wow, it's much more liquidy than I thought it was gonna be. I expected like It CC Cream and like Juvia's Place and what's any other full coverage? Smashbox Studio Skin Finish. I expected that like clay-like consistency, and this is definitely not like that. It's very, like I said, liquidy. Oh, I'm supposed to start in the center of the face. Oops. It smells beautiful. Wow, it smells really, really good. I don't know what it smells like. It's definitely fragranced, but it's not super overbearing. At least right now, it's not super overbearing. It just smells like a really light perfume. Like fresh flowers. Not like fake fresh flowers, but fresh flowers. I just can't get over this scent. I'm gonna put some on the back of my hand. Do you see what I mean about the viscosity of it? I could turn my hand and it would run all the way down. Oh. Well, I guess it's a good thing I'm putting it on my nose. Oh, I don't know what it smells like. Just fragrance, I guess. The color match seems to actually be pretty good. Am I warm peach and I wasn't aware? Actually, the match I think is about perfect. Now, so far, I do still see some blemishes coming through, like this one right here, that I really didn't want to join me today, but it did. Today was Tom Ford Day. I needed to be pristine for today. But you know it's gonna pop in to try and play me. Not having it. So that's 3 pumps so far. It definitely said buildable. So far it is buildable. But with this not being like the type of full coverage formula I'm used to, which is like a clay, I can tell it's gonna take a little bit more to build it up. But what I'm liking about this is that, okay, like with a full coverage, more clay-based formula, you can't get that from a light coverage to a full coverage. It goes on mask-like, and that's just how it is, which is fine with me. I don't really mind that at all. But this, I can build from a lighter coverage. Like right now, I could leave this like this and be comfortable with this on a daily level because it still looks great. It's more of a medium coverage. I don't have it applied everywhere it needs to be yet, obviously. It looks nice. It looks like a medium coverage foundation. My skin looks skin-like. It is luminous, but not so luminous that it looks dewy. It just looks like healthy skin right now. I want to build it up and see if I can turn it into the fullest of full without it looking cakey. That's the key. And without having to use like half the bottle. That's also a key. This door has 2 keys. So let's go in for pump 4 and 5. And again, I'm just going to take this right down the center. It's undetectable and beautiful. Guys, I don't want to love this. I really don't. I feel like the coverage is built up now to definitely full, but it's so good. It's not cakey, not one bit. It's not too thick anywhere. The coverage is great. The finish is beautiful. And it doesn't look nearly as thick as most full coverage foundations I have. I can see it's still full coverage. It's covering everything it needs to cover, but it's not thick. I don't know any other way to put it. I'm like analyzing my face looking for a flaw just so I can find one. But so far, no luck. So I'm just gonna go ahead and move on because before I decide that he can stay, I have to make sure that he plays nice with all the other friends. So I'm gonna go ahead and go in with concealer. I'm gonna be using my Tarte Shape Tape, but it's a little too matte for me. So I'm gonna combine it with my Tarte Shape Tape Glow Wand so that I can kind of add a little bit of that luminescence that will tie in with the foundation as well as brighten up the under eye just a little bit. And I'm not gonna do my normal concealer application where I take it up here and over there. I'm not even going to take the glow wand there like I normally would. Some people say that's too much concealer. I say, please sir, may I have some more? Now I'm going to use my Dalton number 2 brush and go ahead and blend this out. Actually, before that, I'm going to go ahead and get my Laura Mercier translucent loose setting powder ready so that I can get ready to set my face. And before I go in and set everything, I'm going to use my Huda Beauty Tantour Contour and Bronzer Cream in the shade Fair. And I'm using the e.l.f. small stipple brush with this. And while I'm at it, I'm going to go ahead and highlight using the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Beauty Light Wand Easy Highlighter in the shade Spotlight. And with her, we're just going to try and get some more out because I love her and she is used and abused. Oh, come on, come on. Come on, Charlotte. Just need a little longer. There we go. Okay, get a few out of her, and a few out of her over here. Okay, beautiful. And Cupid's bow. And then I like to take some right here above my brow, and right here above my brow. And then a little bit on my finger, just so I can go right here. Beautiful. And before I blend that out, just so I make sure everything is fluid and blended together, I'm also going to use my ColourPop blush stick in the shade Dash Zero. It's actually Blush Sticks, sorry. And for this, I'm just going to take some on this blush brush. It's a Morphe blush brush. Well, if I can get any off of here. Okay, so I'm going to take the blush sticks right into the cheek and just using circular motions, apply to the apples, and then I'm going to continue the circular motions back into the bronzer / contour. Also going to take a little bit right here on the nose and up here into the contour as well. Then a little bit on the chin. And I'm not touching that highlighter just yet because I want to make sure I get the brush coated in blush and that I'm done with the blush. Now I'm going to flip the brush over, and where the tip of the brush is, just going to start dipping that into the highlight. That didn't work so well. That started mixing with that concealer and moving it around. But that was a lot of concealer, so the concealer is probably still very wet. So it makes sense that I'm moving it around, I guess. It has nothing to do with the foundation though, so I don't know why I'm telling you that. Oh man, that's so beautiful. Just want to make sure I don't lose any of the contour that I had on my nose. And now, before I set my concealer, I'm gonna make sure that it's all just blended out and I have no creasing, which surprisingly I don't. There's maybe the tiniest bit right here. Now let's see if the foundation can live up to powder. I'm gonna set my under eyes first. And I personally like to bake my under eyes and my nose right here, and I also like to bake my deep creasing I have right here, but it's not creasing. Typically, 9 times out of 10, I will bake the 11 thing, you know, like your angry face lines. Oh, I just scratched my foundation off of my nose. And my forehead wrinkles from like exclamation, surprise. But I don't see them right now. You know what? No, I am still going to just in case, but it just goes to show this foundation is really nice so far. I don't know how it wears yet. I'm not going to speak to it. I don't want to get too excited. I'm going to go ahead and bake my 11. That sounds weird. I tried so hard not to get powder on my eyeshadow. That's probably why I did, because I was trying not to. Okay, I'm now baking in all of my normal baking spots, so that's proving to be working thus far, and my skin just looks beautiful. I don't really even feel like I need to set this, but I do feel tacky still, which makes sense for a luminous foundation, and it is transferring. Well, yeah, it's transferring a little. It's weird because where I put my blush, obviously, that's super wet and sticky and transferring, and I can see it like a lot. But down here, where it's just foundation, it's not transferring nearly as much, but I still wouldn't trust it to not transfer, period. So I'm gonna go ahead and set it with my Urban Decay All Nighter Waterproof Setting Powder, and this is just gonna be my all over set my face powder. See, the thing I'm curious of is if I'm still going to have luminosity to the skin. This is what I do every time I do my makeup. I always bake my under eyes and my deep creasing, and I always set the rest of my face with some pressed powder. Just sometimes I end up with very, very luminous skin, like very textured luminous after all is said and done. Now, so far, something I'm really, really happy about is nothing has slid around on top of the foundation. Every brush that I've used on top of the foundation hasn't pulled anything up. It's only applied things, which is great, especially with a luminous foundation, because luminous equals wet, usually. And wet sometimes means slippery and can move around and leave brush strokes and texture and grossness, and that's not happening. Okay, so currently, I think this is really, really stunning. Like, I love it. But it is time to spray my face with setting spray. And then we'll see if we love it after that, because that could change things. Maybe. I'm going to use my Morphe Continuous Setting Mist in the scent Sweet Peach. Oh, that smells amazing. And let's see how we look. You know, even though I put enough powder on my face to absorb the Pacific Ocean, I still have some luminescence to the skin. I don't look dewy, I don't look glowy. I just have a little bit of reflect. I'm not completely matte. So even with the powder, I still have some luminescence, which is awesome because that's what I was afraid of, that the powder was going to get rid of it all, but it didn't. It looks really good. It looks super skin-like. It looks fresh, and it looks like I love it. I'm not super creasy. I can't even see that I have forehead creasing right now, which is amazing. But before I admit to loving this foundation, we have to give it a wear test. Because if it doesn't wear well and it just falls apart and looks disgusting and I look super creasy and gross, or even extra oily, even though I'm not oily, like some luminous foundations by the time this is done, then we'll know it's not worth the $150 that it costs. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish the rest of my makeup off camera, and the next time I'll see you guys is for my check-in after I've worn the foundation. So that means I'll see you guys once I've formed my final opinions on the Tom Ford Shade and Illuminate Soft Radiance Foundation. So I'll be right back with that final check-in. And we are back for our check-in at the 4 hour and 19 minute mark. I know it hasn't been like crazy forever, but I'm getting really, really tired. It's 3:19 a.m. in the morning at the moment. I stopped filming at 11 p.m. and I'm very sleepy. I've been laying in bed watching a movie and I was starting to doze off, so I thought, you know what? It's time for me to check in and go to bed. But for my final thoughts on the Tom Ford Shade and Illuminate Soft Radiance Foundation, it looks truly beautiful still. It actually looks better now than it did when I had just finished it, because now my natural oils have broken through a little bit and added a little bit more luminosity to it. Not so much to make it oily and dewy looking, but it just made it a little more luminous. So it kind of just took away the powder finish that was left behind by the powder, which means essentially that the translucent powder that I put all over my skin finally melted in and I was left with the foundation as is. It does seem like it lasted really well so far. My creasing isn't super intense, but there is creasing. I do this a lot and I sit like this a lot. Like, I don't mean to, but I just do this face a lot. It's like my focus face, if you know what I mean, or like watching a scary movie. I'm like paying attention to the scary movie, watching, you know, it's just a face I make. And that doesn't help with foundation creasing, but I can see it. So it's not by any means perfect per se. It's also kind of broken down around my nose a little bit, which is kind of crazy because that doesn't normally happen so quickly, but it's not happening on that side. So maybe that was just me not filling in that side. For sure. But is this a $150 face still? Like all of this? Okay, wait. So, hold on. During the application, the way that it built up to full coverage and how thin the formula was and started and built up to that full coverage was unlike any other foundation I've used. I don't have a foundation that's quite like that. That formula is definitely one of a kind, and I do feel like this is a very, very beautiful foundation. I really do like it a lot, but I don't know if it's worth $150. That is so much money. Just to wrap my brain around that is so crazy. This is really tough for me, because I was going into this video wholeheartedly thinking that I was going to use this foundation and know for sure 100% that it was not going to be worth $150. That's just the way I thought going into it because it was so expensive. And now, and the fact that it's 50 SPF with the formula that it has and the way it builds up, it's making me like it. And I don't want to, because I don't want to have to spend $150 every time I want to refill my foundation. I feel like this is going to be like my special event foundation, if that makes sense. Like, use it once a month, maybe, for the time when I need to look my best. And I feel like maybe that's the only way that I would recommend this foundation. I feel like if you just use this like an every month kind of thing, and you have to spend $150 every month just for a bottle of foundation, I don't think that's worth it. I feel like if it is a luxury gift, or like you want to splurge on yourself and you want something that's really, really good for you in the aspects of it being good for your skin, having hyaluronic acid and plumping properties, and having 50 plus SPF, I just feel like all of those factors combined together plus the packaging make it where it could be that luxury item for you. As I said, like a gift or a once a year purchase or once every 2 years purchase. I'm just so bummed and pleasantly surprised at the same time that this foundation actually ended up proving me wrong. I even think that if you had oily skin, because this has hyaluronic acid in it and it's good for skin conditioning, plus it having the SPF 50 plus, I feel like it would be good for that, because not only is it providing you with the moisture that your oily skin needs, but it's also giving you the sun coverage that you need throughout the day. It's just so cool how it's luminous but not dewy, and it looks like skin but it's still full coverage and not cakey. Okay guys, well I guess I'm defeated and kind of bitter about it, but still excited about it because I have a luxury foundation that I can be proud of now. Anyway, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed the review of the Tom Ford foundation. Please let me know what you guys thought in the comments down below. Do you like the finish of the foundation? Were you thinking what I was thinking and that this was just gonna be way too much money and definitely not worth it? Or do you still think it's not worth it? Are you undefeated, unlike me? Let me know down below. Also, if you did like this video, please don't forget to give me a thumbs up, because it does let me know that you do like this video, and it also helps YouTube recommend my video to other people, and I need all the views I can get so that I can pay for this foundation. Also, if you like this look and you want to see more looks like them, you can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat. My username is the same for everything. It's just ChristopherJMUA. And if you gain nothing out of this video, if you gain nothing out of any of my videos, please at least gain this. And that is to always remember and never forget that you are absolutely beautiful. And I love you guys. Bye.